welcome back to the King's Podcast with your host Eugene, aka G Money. On the King's Podcast, I won't even tell you what episode this is, but I'm going to just dive into it. Today, a lot has been happening in the national landscape. The president of South Africa went to the USA with a couple of people or a group of people, the media, South African media, SABC, Newsroom Africa, ENCA, all kinds of media. Then we saw the Minister of Agriculture there, Minister John Steenhuisen. We saw Johan Rupert, the star of the show. You would have seen if you were watching that many people were quiet as he was speaking because they know that he is one of the most powerful people in South Africa and also globally. He's a global player. So what I want to dive in today also, apart from this thing that happened with the visit to America by the president to try and negotiate with Trump, the other thing that was happening locally is the national budget. I want to dive into the national budget because for the past 2 months, 3 months, I've been talking about the budget, criticizing it, also being in support of it. There were some of the things that I was supporting, like the VAT increase, that I was supporting. Many other people were in support of VAT, but not so many people. Many people were against it. So what I want to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to dive into the budget so that we talk about the changes in the budget. Are we in a better place or are we in a worse place compared to where we were if we were talking about VAT increase by 1% or 0.5%, and now where we are talking about the decrease in spending for different departments, your schooling, your health department, spending has been decreased. Or if we are talking about the fuel levy, which is going to affect many people who have cars, who are pouring petrol every single day, every week, and people who are commuting using public transport, which gets affected due to the fuel levy. There's an increase in the fuel levy of 16 cents, on diesel and petrol 15 cents. So these things are the highlights of the budget, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to waste your time. I'm going to be quick. I'm going to only take 15 to 20 minutes talking about this, the highlights of the budget. What is some of the biggest highlights? Coming into this budget, one of the things that were making noise is the fact that the Build One South Africa, Moses Maimane's party, and also Action SA, Herman Mashaba's party, they are the people that played a role in making sure that Treasury Department, Minister of Finance, review their budgeting strategy, rethink their budgeting strategy. So I'm going to be quick, guys. I'm going to be very quick, talk about this thing, because when we come into this budget, the money that was promised that we are going to, raise the money to cover spending is money that was supposed to come from things like your sin tax, alcohol tax, gambling tax, online gambling, that is. Those things, those are some of the suggestions that we were told by BUSA and also Action SA. So I believe these considerations were taken into account to come up with this budget 3.0. The number one thing that is a problem for me is that you have to get to version number 3 of the budget just to get to what we have today. What was published today is the best that they can do, and it took us reviewing and sitting at the table 3 times. 1, 2, 3, over 3 months, February, March, April, and at the middle of May, on the 21st of May, then you can come and publish that budget. That was almost 2 months or 2.5 months talking about this budget, not agreeing on the budget. Finally, you come up with this budget and it is still not good enough. Many people are not happy with it. Commuters, motorists, business owners, people who use fuel, they're not happy with the budget. I'm not happy with the budget because according to the way I view it, it is not the better budget. It is not better than the VAT budget that we have. Reason number one why I'm saying it's not the better budget, ladies and gentlemen, is because you estimated that you're going to have 2.2 trillion revenue in the last budget 2.0 and budget 1.0. And now you come with budget 3.0, your revenue is lower. What happened? I thought you thought you were going to make more money, but now because of the suggestions that were made by Busa and the other party, why are you not making more money? Because they promise that you can make more money. I saw it coming that these promises that those guys made, they're not going to make us more money in the immediate short term. You are just going to cut spending, which is what we see right now. They are going to say, they were saying that we're going to spend 300 billion on education, 250 billion on whatever, transport and emergency services, also medical services, health sector. Now you are cutting and you are reducing the spending that you said you were going to do. And then you take the money that you had promised health, you had promised education, you move that money somewhere else. That is basically what they did. Busa, the Ministry of Treasury, and also Action SA, basically that's all they did. They moved money around. You take money, if you have a household, take money from television, going to cinema and entertainment, going to restaurant, you move that money around, you put it somewhere else. You put it in buying toiletry, you put it in buying more rice, more maize meal. You didn't make more money, you just moved money around. Basically, that is what has been happening with South Africa, because those suggestions by the Busa and the Action SA, the DA, and all the people, EFF, people who made suggestions, those suggestions cannot be turned into money immediately. You can't make those things to be cash flow, liquid in 3 months or 6 months. Those suggestions, what they did is just to cut spending. That was the buzzword. They said cut spending, reduce the protection services and bodyguards for ministers, deputy ministers, people in parliament. Cutting spending doesn't make you more money. You are still in the same position. You are just shifting money around depending on where you are going to spend it. You just move money from here, from maize meal and rice, you move it to meat and fish. You move money from entertainment, you move it to traveling. If you were going to travel and spend 2,000 rand, now you are going to spend 2,500 rand because you took the 500 from your entertainment budget. Basically, that is what is happening. I'm not chuffed. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see by the energy, I'm not excited by the budget. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't bring anything. Point number 2, why I'm not happy with the budget is because previously you said cancel the VAT, and I was for the VAT. You said cancel the VAT because it affects the poor, it affects the middle class, it affects the lower middle class, because the people who are working, they spend more money, groceries, traveling, and all of that. You said that VAT is going to affect the poorest. Does this new budget affect the poorest or not? I think it does. That's point number 2 why I'm not in favor of this new budget. Many people are not happy because of the fuel levy, the petrol, how much money they are going to spend on petrol and all of that. It still affects the poor. The poor must travel. The poor must buy food. And those food, when it gets produced, it gets transported across all the 23,000 districts in South Africa, 9 provinces, districts, and all local, terrain in South Africa. You use transport to transport food. You use vehicles to transport food. Fuel levy is going to affect all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, that is point number 2 why this budget, many people are not happy with it. Then the third thing why many people are not happy with it is because healthcare, education, children in early childhood development, they are going to be affected by this budget change. People are not happy about that. You are going to affect the poor people, the traveling people, the motorists. You're also going to affect scholar transport. Parents spend money on transportation. Teachers, people who earn the lowest, some of the people who are earning 5,000 rands, 10,000 rand, they are going to be affected because kids that go to school with transport, they are going to spend more money now because of the fuel levy. And on top of that, the education budget has been cut. The health budget has been cut. Doctors and nurses, the things that were promised to these sectors to say we are going to increase the jobs, we are going to hire more people, they are no longer the same. Ladies and gentlemen, these things, they are affecting South Africa negatively. This budget is not as good as they say it is. It is not as better or even, an improvement from budget 1, budget 2. It's still the same. You are not making more money. The other thing that I'm saying I'm not happy about this budget is the revenue, of course, because previously with the previous budget, your revenue was 2.2. Now it's 2,080 billion. It went down by almost 160 billion. That 160 billion, you are moving it to finance the debt. You are going to use that money to finance the debt. You are going to use that money to cover some of the things. Basically, you didn't do anything. You just rearranged things to please each other within the GNU, within Parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I have to say for now. I'm not happy about that. It's not the best that we could do as a country. Treasury has proven that to some level they are not competent. It had to be Musi Maimane, Herman Mashaba, the EFF, the DA going to court. It had to be those 4 things, 4 parties that put pressure on the ANC and the government of national unity to revise the budget, to think outside of the box, to come up with ideas. Even though they've been prompted to come up with ideas, they still cannot make more money. They still cannot increase the revenue. Only thing that they're doing is to decrease spending, cut spending. There is nothing extraordinary happening here. You're not making more money. If you have a budget in your household, you see that you are in trouble, you go and shift money, you change your spending, you still didn't make more money. What you can do is to come up with an extra stream of income. Increase your stream of incomes, make more money, then you can better your situation. You can attract more money by production, making things happen. The third or the fourth thing or fourth reason why I'm not happy with the budget, the outlook of the GDP, the outlook of the Treasury and the Finance Ministry saying that the projection that they had made previously to say that South Africa GDP will grow by 1.97%, 1.7 to 1.9 is no longer the same. Now they're bringing it down to 1.4%, lower than 1.5%. So you are saying that we're not going to grow that much. Economic activity, production, service industry, movement of money within the country, you are telling us that is going to be growing at a percentage lower than 1.5. What does that mean? That means that based on how you see things, the investors are not going to be attracted to us. Why will they not be attracted to us? Because we are chaotic as a country. We are incompetent as a country. As a government, politics of this country, they are all over the place. It's chaotic. For those reasons, ladies and gentlemen, you are not going to do any better than last year. The growth that you may have may be 1.4%. And that growth, you may not even reach that growth. You may grow by 0.5%, by 1%, because you can't always reach or exceed your expectations, especially if what is happening with this country is not stable. There is instability in politics, instability in different things happening here, criminal activity, the raping of children, the murdering of people, the propaganda, the news that we are spreading in social media, in the television. All these things, they contribute to the growth outlook of your country, because for you to grow the economy, you need investors. If investors peep in and look into what is happening in South Africa, it is not attractive. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't sit for 3 months budgeting and revising the budget and you think you are going to grow the economy. There is not going to be any growth, because the people who grow your economy is the people who bring you money. Money come from financial markets externally, outside of South Africa, outside of Africa. These investors, when they look in and they see what we are doing, it's not attractive. It doesn't give them confidence that we are going to make more money. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the things that I'm deducing from the budget. The budget speech is not that great. Many of you will agree with me. You are not happy with it yourself. You know deep inside you are not happy with it. You regret having to wait for 3 months just to receive this budget, which is not satisfactory for you, which makes you think that This country is not going anywhere better. We are not going to improve in any way. The things that are happening are not attractive for investors. The things that are happening, they still don't benefit the poor. The last projections and the last budget with the VAT increase in it did not benefit the poor, showed that it may be negatively impacting the poor. This new budget is still having those signs. I've been talking about problems for the last 15 minutes. What can we do as a country to move forward and have a better outlook until February 2026? What can we do as a country to improve? What you can do, start by limiting procurement control within your departments, within your local government. Start by limiting the procurement activities that are not benefiting, that are just void and devoid of the essence of growing this country. If an activity is happening and you are procuring things that are wasteful expenditure, that have a potential of being corrupt, where money is going to be looted, limit those activities. Focus on development activities. Focus on infrastructure, things that are going to improve the country, things that will equip SARS and local governments to collect more money. Don't focus on activities like building a bridge, buying laptops, things that are wasteful and have a potential of having people steal money because we don't have enough money. Wasteful expenditure is not going to help us. That's what we are saying. Focus on things that will improve service delivery to the poor, health, education. But it doesn't seem to be the case here because the money allocated to these departments is much lower than what it was in budget 1 and budget 2. That's what we are saying. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a break and I'm going to come back. And when we come back, I'm going to continue and analyze the meeting between Trump and Cyril Ramaphosa, John Steenhuisen, Johan Rupert, South Africa as a whole. Does this meeting help us in any way? Does this meeting improve the outlook of the country? What were the objectives of the meeting? Did we meet those objectives? This is your boy Eugene, aka G Money, on the King's Podcast. We'll be back after the break. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the King's Podcast. We're continuing on this segment. I'm fired up. I'm lit. We're going to continue, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about what is going on, what happened with the meeting between Trump and Ramaphosa, all the ministers that accompanied Trump or Ramaphosa to meet Trump. What did they talk about? What are the takeaways that we can take from this meeting? Was it any good? Does it benefit us? Do we win in that meeting, or did we just go there to chit-chat and brown-nose Trump and tell him that nothing is wrong with our country? Of course, something is wrong with our country. It may not be the killing of Afrikaners and all the farmers. Something is wrong with our country. We are not growing. Look inside. Our country is not doing better. Budget speeches are being made that don't have any value, that don't improve anything. So, the takeaways from the meeting, I watched the meeting, I saw what happened. I think the highlight of the meeting is when they were talking about Julius Malema and also MK. And you saw John Steenhuisen telling non-truths, telling things that are not true about the reason why they are in a GNU. They are saying that they are in a GNU to keep the hooligans out of union buildings, to keep, Julius and Zuma out of union building, out of the parliament, out of government and out of power. Those things are untrue. The things that they said, I think the highlight of the meeting were those things. They also talk about industry. They also talk about doing business together. I didn't see any takeaway from that meeting. I didn't see any signatures of executives and agreements. I didn't see them convincing him to bring back whatever he took away from us. All I saw was different people, talking, ministers talking, business people talking, representatives of different parties within the GNU talking, reassuring Trump that all is well in South Africa. The problem is Julius. The problem is Zuma. The problem is MK and EFF. That's all I saw. Did they sign anything? Did they come to an agreement? Did Trump buy into our country? Is he convinced that going forward we are going to have a good relationship? Did they talk about Israel and all of that? Did they address some of these things to a point where there are resolutions, there are orders and executive agreements on a higher level? Did they sign to say, if you check Trump's previous meetings and press conferences, he would bring Chinese billionaires, people from China, Korea, who are saying that we are going to invest in America, we are going to bring 100 billion US dollars, we are going to bring what, we are going to invest in technology, we are going to invest in 1, 2, 3 digital industry, all of that. I didn't see any of that happening. And what I saw was Ramaphosa saying that we are going there to talk about business, to talk about how we can work together because we need each other. We have a strong relationship. What I saw in the meeting itself was a circus, ladies and gentlemen. The meeting was not proper. The meeting was not towards a goal. It was not towards an objective. For me, it would have been nice to see that the objective of this meeting was to sign papers, to say, Mr. Trump, we have a proposal for you. Give us this, we give you this. That's negotiation. They tell you that Trump is a negotiator, Ramaphosa is a negotiator. All I saw was they were pleasing each other. You saw Ramaphosa talking like this, passionate, talking in a reassuring manner, and you saw Trump like this, talking with his hands locked together, with his guard like this, not interested. He had his guard on. They were not negotiating. According to the way I view it, that was not a negotiation. A negotiation, you go in, you say, we know you want this, but we want this. We can give you what you want, but we want this. We know you want 1, 2, 3 from Africa, from South Africa. South Africa is the best place you can get this. Give us this, and we give you what you want. Compromise, meet each other halfway. Tell each other things that the both of you want to hear. Tell Trump what he wants to hear. Take away something from him, the thing that you want. Don't show all your cards. You are negotiating. You want to get there and get out of that meeting with something that benefits you and your country. Don't go there to reassure the man that your country is safe, because at the end of that meeting, he was still not reassured. You talk about G20, he still tells you that, no, we have a lot of things going on. We have G7, it used to be G8, but Russia is out now. He just didn't want to tell you, Ramaphosa, that you got BRICS. We are not coming to G20. You're trying to convince him, we would love for you to come here, Mr. Trump. We would love for you to come and attend, participate, visit South Africa. He was not interested. Trump was not interested in joining this G20. He's got his own priorities. You got BRICS, you got G20. He sees those as small players. He wants to be in G7 where he is in control. He is the biggest player globally. That meeting for me was not it. Ladies and gentlemen, that was not it. I didn't see any good thing happening there. I didn't see anything that is a win for us. All I saw is people talking, reassuring each other to say, South Africa is safe. Criminals, and Trump was interested in the crime. No, criminals, we are handling it. The problem is Julius. The problem is Zuma. I didn't see any negotiation. I didn't see anything that makes him believe that he can get something from us and he should be compelled to give us something. I didn't see any of that. Nobody signed anything. Nobody say we shake hands, we are reconciling, we want to give you business, give us business too. I didn't see any of that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have. I don't know what else you can say. Comment, like, and tell me what you think about the meeting. How did the meeting go for you? How do you perceive the objectives that we had going in? Do you think coming out of that meeting, did we reach those objectives, or we just went there and talked to reassure him so that he feels sorry for us and he becomes, friendly towards Africa and South Africa? Did we go there to get something out and exchange and give him something, or did we go there to apologize and say, no, we are apologetic, we are a peaceful country, all of that and all of that? Or did we go there to get deals? Did we go there to negotiate? That is what I saw. So on this episode, I just wanted to highlight that we must focus on South Africa now. The budget is out. The people are waiting for service delivery. The people want that to happen. That's what the people want right now. That is what we want to see in this country. The budget is out. I believe everybody's in agreement. Nobody is opposing it. They are all happy with it. They are happy with each other. Now, for the next 9 months, it's time for us to see if this budget is going to work. It's time for us to see if we are going to benefit, as a country, as the constituency of this country. Are we going to benefit from the budget? Are we going to benefit as business sector, people on the streets, on the ground level, on the grassroots level? Are we going to benefit, or is this thing just going to crumble and we're going to see us in situations where service delivery is lacking, no electricity, load shedding every other day, grass is not getting cut, water is, shortages of water? Or are we going to improve the budget that we have, the resources that we have? Does it help us? Does it make us grow? Are we growing as a result of the budget? Do we have better relations with each other? Let us know in the comments. As a country, are we going in the right direction? Are we moving to the right place? Are we moving positively, doing things that benefit this country? Or are we still in the same place? Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you right now. Until the next episode, you already know it's your host, Eugene G Money, on the King's Podcast. Until the next one.